Wisconsin's legislative halt brings a tentative victory for naturist rights. A welcome win, but the fight continues in Wisconsin. By Evan Nix. In a surprising turn of events, the Wisconsin State Legislature has apparently opted not to advance the controversial anti-nudity bills SB 477 and SB 478 to the Assembly agenda before the closure of their legislative session this week, leaving naturism advocates cautiously optimistic. Despite a scheduled session focused on budgetary items in March, the likelihood of these bills being revisited remains low, marking a critical moment for proponents of body freedom in the state, though it is tempered by a lack of definitive closure and continued anxiety over what has amounted to a dangerously close call. A temporary victory amid ongoing challenges. After several months of unease over the future of naturism in Wisconsin, the tabling of SB 477 and SB 478, aimed at redefining public indecency laws and regulating minors' attendance at events with nude adults, brings with it a welcome moment of respite for naturist advocates in the state. Activists on the ground in Wisconsin have been working non-stop since these bills were introduced in October to coordinate letter writing, contact representatives, and rally opposition to these bills. There are many to credit. Among those are dedicated individuals and groups who rallied in opposition to the bills. Organizations like the Naturist Action Committee, NAC, and the American Association for Nude Recreation, ANR, alongside WNBR bike groups, LGBTQ+ advocates, women's rights activists, and countless individual naturists in Wisconsin, have been at the forefront of this fight, investing both time and resources. NAC expressed their gratitude to Planet Nude. The Naturist Action Committee wishes to sincerely thank all of the naturists near and far who have been and continue to work together with NAC in attempting to prevent these anti-nudity bills and rules from succeeding. We also greatly appreciate the collaboration of various top free and LGBTQ groups, supportive businesses, legal officials, senators, representatives, and the Reddit community, who graciously supported a NAC fund drive initiated by moderators when the bills were introduced. Finally, NAC acknowledges Planet Nude's valuable support in publishing NAC action alerts, distributing updates, and providing accurate and timely coverage of the ever-changing scenario. The American Association for Nude Recreation also hails the news as a victory, posting to their Twitter/X account, a deep thanks to AANR members, clubs, and regions support and other naturist organizations and WNBR who helped stop anti-nudity bills in Wisconsin this year. At 1 a.m. this morning the Assembly adjourned without taking these two bills to the floor. This is a win for now. Your membership dues and donations provided funding for a lobbyist whose work and strategies proved effective. To their credit, World Naked Bike Ride planners in the state are already making plans for their 2024 rides. We have seen no reason for hesitancy in planning this year's bike ride based on something that might happen, says Peter Keating, an organizer of the Madison WNBR. Even if these laws were to be enacted, we would be eager to engage in civil disobedience against what we see as immoral and unconstitutional at both the state and federal level. John Jankowski of the Milwaukee Ride tells Planet Nude that their ride is full steam ahead. It's going to be June 22nd. We got the date, he says. I'm going for a bike ride. I'm happy. It's 60 degrees here in Milwaukee. It's unreal. Advocates on the ground in Wisconsin have been working hard to lobby state representatives and educate them about the potential for these bills to do damage to naturism in the state, and they have reason to celebrate this development as a win. Still, the moment also calls attention to the ongoing struggle for civil liberties in Wisconsin. The decision by House Republicans to table the bills, driven by time constraints and other priorities, not resolving in a clear political defeat, doesn't eliminate the risk of such measures returning in future sessions. For that matter, there is always a remote chance that the bills could come back up before the legislative session officially ends in April. This uncertainty makes it difficult for activists to discern the impact of their efforts from mere fortune. I anticipate feeling no sense of relief if the Wisconsin Assembly fails to effect a last-minute passage, Peter Keating says. If the bills die at the conclusion of the current biennium, I see no impediment to the introduction of something similar in 2025. Moving forward. With the conclusion of this session, attention now turns to the next, where the landscape for similar legislation remains uncertain. Not only is there potential for these bills to be reprised in the next legislative session, they could also potentially inspire similar legislative efforts in other states. Naturism advocates and civil liberties supporters are urged to keep a close watch on political developments, engage with lawmakers, and participate in the democratic process to safeguard their rights and freedoms. Within Wisconsin, the situation for naturists remains somewhat chilly. Earlier this month, the state's Natural Resources Board, NRB, which oversees the Department of Natural Resources, DNR, enacted a significant blow to the naturist community by passing new rules that ban public nudity on state lands like the once nude-friendly Mazo Beach. The rules were signed by the governor on February 1, 2024 and are still in procedural stages, requiring passage through several legislative committees that offer opportunities for public input and potential modification. Activists and supporters of naturism must remain vigilant as they may have a critically small window to mobilize, potentially influencing the outcome or language of these rules through public hearings or direct dialogue with lawmakers. A broader call to action. Once the glory of the moment passes, naturist advocates ought to take a moment to recognize their luck and acknowledge that, though they worked hard, these bills were not defeated as a result of the mobilization of the naturist coalition, not by superior organization, backroom politicking, nor by vocal opposition, but rather in a decision made by the political party in power. It could very easily have gone the other way. It still might. We were caught off guard once, but shame on us if it happens again. This should serve as a call to action for naturists, activists, and civil liberties organizations. The temporary halt of these bills offers an opportunity to strengthen the movement, build alliances, and strategize for future legislative battles. The fight continues in Wisconsin. We urge our readers to engage with the Naturist Action Committee, NAC, and be ready to participate in public hearings or dialogues that could shape the future of naturism in Wisconsin. NAC plays a critical role in monitoring legislative activities and coordinating responses to threats against naturist freedoms. We encourage all who are committed to the cause to reach out to NAC, offer your support, and be ready to mobilize swiftly for any upcoming public hearings regarding the DNR rules, or in the event of the revival of this anti-nudity legislation. As the landscape evolves, the commitment to vigilance, advocacy, and solidarity remains essential, both in Wisconsin and beyond. You can still sign the petition. Despite the temporary halt of the controversial bills in Wisconsin, we will continue to rally support through our change.org petition, calling on Governor Evers for a veto if similar legislation resurfaces. We want to be strategically ready to deliver the petition signatures to the governor at the appropriate time, and not sooner. Keeping the petition active not only serves as a precautionary measure for future legislative efforts, but also serves as a line of contact to more than 900 people, and growing, who are vocal in opposing these bills. At this time, we still encourage you to sign, and to add your voice to the fight to keep bodies free.
We hope you're enjoying Planet Nude. If so, please consider a paid subscription. Your membership comes with exclusive content and supports our work. Subscribe at www.planetnude.co.